Okay, so before I start this video, spoiler alert, because a lot of things will be spoiled in this video, so spoiler alert. Okay, so with that important information out of the way, here is the video. Hey guys, this is Jaden right here. I'm not gonna say my actual current channel name to make the Return of the Fossa happy, since he really doesn't like my current channel name, even though we're still best YouTube friends. But you know, for him, I won't say my actual channel name in this video. But yeah, anyway, this video right now is being recorded on Friday, March 3rd, 2023. But it will be getting uploaded the next day, so I'll have a video for that day, and also it'll be uploaded at midnight. So yeah, with all that out of the way, what is this video about? Okay, so this video will be a different type of video I haven't exactly done on the channel in a little while, and it's a spoof film review video. And yeah, I haven't done a spoof film review video on the channel in a little while, huh? Yeah, that's because, you know, that's probably mainly because of the thing we've been going through with us moving out the apartment and whatnot. You know, it being a little harder for me to do videos that involve me talking out loud to you guys like what I'm doing right now. But yeah, this will be my first review video since I did that Goku Shrek review on New Year's Eve of last year, and this will also be a review video on the Return of the Fossa. Yeah, it's been a while since I did a review video on him, huh? If I remember correctly, the last time I did a review video on him, like I guess maybe unless if you want to count that Home Alone cast video reaction video that I did, if I remember correctly, the last time I did do a review video on him was when I reviewed his Woody 3D Shrek 3D style project back in April. I think it was like the end of April too of 2022 of last year. But yeah, I'm doing yet another. But yeah, I'm gonna do yet another review video on him, and some more information I want to give you guys before I start doing the reviewing stuff. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, recently the Return of the Fossa started doing these new Toy Story spoof films of his. But yeah, so yeah, he started doing these new Toy Story spoof films of his. But just so you guys know, no, this is definitely not the first time Fossa has spoofed Toy Story. He spoofed Toy Story before, way back in 2020, where more spoilers. Well, I already gave a spoiler alert at the beginning, so yeah. But yeah, anyway, he had a Poppy from Trolls be Woody, gender swap casting choice, and he also had Woody himself be Buzz. So yeah, but yeah, he wanted to update those Toon Story movies, those Toy Story spoof films of his. So yeah, as a result, we get these new Toy Story style movies of his, which he got out the other day on March 1st of 2023. And by the way, guys, fun fact, I didn't realize this until yesterday. The day he got out these Toy Story style movies of his was exactly 2 years after the day I got more into Sonic. So wow, what a coincidence! Wow. So yeah, the day he got out these two Woody, I'd say the day he got out these two Toy Story spoof films of his was on the day where I started to become a really big Sonic fan and whatnot. Cool. And yeah, I also another thing. This is also something I noticed the day it happened. But yeah, he also got out these Toy Story style movies on the same day Joseph got out his Blitz. Joseph premiered the first part of his Blitz Shrek project on Noon, which yeah, I saw both parts of that Blitz Shrek project of his, and so far I'm really liking it, but that's not what I'm reviewing in this video. Instead, I'm reviewing Fossa's new Toy Story spoof films, which he got out the other day, March 1st, 2023. And he was originally supposed to get this out in February, but you know, stuff got in the way. So he had to postpone it and get it out on March instead. You know, a little bit past February. So yeah, he didn't get this out at the exact time he planned. But oh well, whatever. What matters is that these movies are out and they're here now. And I did take a few breaks in between as I was doing this. I made sure I watched all of these first two movies complete. Both movies. I watched both Toy Story spoof films that he did. Both of them complete without skipping any parts or speeding up the video or anything like that. I watched through both of these films. They're both at least over 2 hours long each. And I watched through both of them, you know, over 4.5 hours of content in total. Yeah, I watched through both of them throughout the course of like the past couple of days. I finished the second movie during study hall at school today, and now I'm qualified enough to do this review video. I'm pretty excited to do this review video. I was thinking of maybe doing it Saturday, but you know, I was too excited, so I decided to do it today. But yeah, right now it's past 5 o'clock, and I'm missing Gumball on the TV. Gumball's airing on Cartoon Network right now, and I'm missing it. You might hurt a bit to do this. I'm sacrificing Gumball to do this review video. Yeah, there's too many great stuff. There's too many shows I love that have been airing on the TV since we moved into these hotels and whatnot. Yeah, and Gumball's one of them. But I can stand the sacrifice of Gumball to do this review video. Yeah, sorry Gumball. Yeah, sorry Gumball. Maybe I'll watch some of the episodes they aired off my phone later tonight or something. But yeah, as of right now, I'm doing this review video, and yeah, I think today, right now, would be a good time to do this review video. And yeah, before the review video, before I started recording this, I wrote down a list that took up like 2.5 pages of the casting choices that I'll go over in this video, and for the most part, I'll be going over these in the order of how I wrote them. So yeah, hopefully I don't forget any major casting choices, but yeah, I think I'll cover a good chunk of casting choices that'll be enough to satisfy and whatnot. And yeah, there's some pretty unique ideas that I want to cover and some pretty funny things that I want to cover. And with all that being said, the video is almost 6 minutes long, and I still haven't started reviewing the project yet. Okay, so yeah, with all that being said, I'm just going to do the review right now. The video's getting pretty long. The video's dragging out. Yeah, with all this being said, I'm just going to do the review right now. And yeah, as usual, when I do my spoof film reviews, I'll start off by going over casting choices. So with all that being said, let me start this right now. Okay, so first, let me go over the casting choice for Woody, of course, because why not? He's the main character. So for Woody, you have my third favorite Sonic character, probably, Miles Tails Prower as Woody. What do I think about that? Well, okay, let me say this. Tails from Sonic is definitely not the most fitting casting choice for Woody, but still, I like it. I like it. It's pretty good. It is nice seeing my third favorite Sonic character be the role in this Toy Story spoof series of his. And yeah, I do really like Tails as Woody. And, it was enjoyable seeing Tails be Woody throughout the course of these two style movies of The Return of the Fossas. And yeah, I like Tails as Woody, and I would say it's definitely one of my favorite casting choices from his cast of his. Moving on, now of course onto the casting choice of Buzz, and you have Top Cat from the old cartoon Top Cat as Buzz. Now, I don't think I've ever talked about Top Cat before in my videos. Yeah, so if you guys want to know what my thoughts are on Top Cat, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I honestly haven't seen it. Although I do remember when I was little, I did see a promo for it off of Boomerang back when I used to watch Boomerang, like when we had Prism and whatnot. Yeah, it did look pretty interesting. But yeah, that's like the most I've seen of Top Cat. That's the closest to me watching Top Cat. So yeah, I don't have too much of an opinion on Top Cat on Buzz, but it does seem pretty fitting though. Yeah, it's also interesting because, fun fact, on one of the Return to the Foss's favorite Toy Story spoof films on YouTube, which isn't on YouTube anymore, got deleted for some reason, and he misses this project this project. On that project, had Top Cat be Woody, but no, in this project of the Return to the Foss's, he decided to go the other way around and have Top Cat be Buzz, which was pretty interesting, even though I don't have too much of an opinion on that casting choice, but still. Alright, continuing on. Next up, the casting choice for Mr. Potato Head, and this one is from, and this one is definitely less fitting than the other two I've covered already, and this one is from one of the only Cartoon Network shows Fossa loves, and that cartoon show is Adventure Time, which, like I've said many times before on the channel, went from hating it to loving it, so, yeah, and he put a few Adventure Time casting choices in this spoof project of his, and, one of the Adventure Time casting choices of the few in this spoof series of his is Finn, the human himself, as Mr. Potato Head. What do I think about that? Definitely not fitting. Definitely not fitting. Let's just get that out of the way. Definitely not fitting at all. Because do you see how nice Finn is in Adventure Time? I mean, sure, there have been times where he'd act like a jerk, but still, and Finn's a pretty nice boy. He's a nice boy, constantly wanting to help others out and whatnot. Wanting to save the day, wanting to become a hero, wanting to love doing his adventures with his best pal Jake. So yeah, he definitely doesn't fit Mr. Potato Head. So yeah, my opinion on that casting choice, it is probably pretty bad because Finn's like the exact opposite of Mr. Potato Head. Like, he's the really nice, adventurous boy, whereas Potato Head, he's the jerk of the Toy Story franchise. He's a big jerk and whatnot, and he's known for being a mean character. Does that sound like Finn at all? Yeah, but probably, to be fair though, probably the main reason why Fossa did this casting choice was so it would make the most sense for the casting choice for Mrs. Potato Head, which I'll go over later on. But yeah, Finn is Mr. Potato Head. Honestly, probably pretty bad, but I think it could have been worse if he was using actual audio from the Toy Story movies for the dialogue of these Toy Story spoof films of his. But no, instead he acted out the dialogue himself for the most part, which he usually does in his style movies. And yeah, I think that's a pretty interesting take for style films and whatnot. But yeah, Finn as Mr. Potato Head, definitely my least favorite out of the few. But it wasn't unbearable. It definitely wasn't unbearable enough to the point where it made this unwatchable. I could tolerate it. But yeah, it's definitely not the best. I think like Ice King. I think if I were to have any Adventure Time character be Mr. Potato Head, it'd probably be Ice King, though I feel like he'd probably be a better choice for something like Al. But yeah, moving on. Another Adventure Time casting choice, and fun fact, the Adventure Time character for this casting choice is one Fossa originally thought was just okay, but no, over time he grew to really like this character, and fun fact, he's probably my favorite Adventure Time character. He's also voiced by the same character as the character he has as Ham for this series. Yeah, and that character is none other than Jake the dog from Adventure Time. Yeah, probably my favorite Adventure Time character, and you have him as Sarge. Now, what's my thought on that? What are my thoughts on that? Not very fitting either. I think Jake would be a better choice for someone like Slinky, but still not bad though. This is definitely more fitting than Finn as Mr. Potato Head. I'll get that out of the way, even though that's not a very high bar to hurdle. But still, you got Jake as Sarge, pretty cool. And yeah, he has him. Yeah, he has Jake in the style movie of his, even though he originally thought Jake was just an okay character, but over time his opinions changed. It seems like Fossa got more into Adventure Time since he did that one video he made talking about how he hates Cartoon Network, with the exceptions of some shows he loves and some shows he thinks are alright. Yeah, it seems like Fossa has loved Adventure Time even more over time, and that's cool. That's kind of like me. Even though Fossa never hated Adventure Time. Unlike me. But yeah, I'm not the best example. Whatever, let me continue on. Next casting choice is from yet another one of the only Cartoon Network shows Fossa loves, and that's Ben Tennyson from Ben 10 as Slinky. Again, not very fitting, but still, it's good enough. It's good enough, though. Although, I think there's better casting choices for Ben himself, but still, Slinky is not too bad. And as for the casting choice for Ham, you've got Bender from Futurama as Ham. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a good one. That's a good one. I would say it's definitely more fitting than the few Cartoon Network casting choices I've covered so far. And, you got Colin, who is this, I think, Go Anime character, because all the footage, all the pictures he used of Colin in this spoof series of his was from Go Anime. You got him as Rex. It does seem pretty fitting, but yeah, I don't really have too much of an opinion on that. Although I've seen a good chunk of Go Animate videos, but yeah, I don't think I've seen too many with Colin. So yeah, continuing on. Next up, you got Cream the Rabbit as Bo. Good, and it doesn't make sense since there's Tails as Woody, and you also got like the Tails or whatever from Sonic as the sheep. That's pretty good. You know, those little flying guys from Sonic as the sheep. That's good. And you also got Lightning McQueen as RC, a casting choice many other Toy Story spoof films, including my Toy Story spoof film is used. And yeah, that does make sense. It makes sense to have a car character be another car character. And you also got Kirby as the microphone mic guy, and yeah. And Kirby for the part where Woody takes the microphone from Mike for the staff meeting. What he did for a replacement with that was have Kirby give a microphone to Tails and say, "Here's a microphone for you, Tails." Yeah, and let's be honest, I can imagine him getting the idea from this scene from my Toy Story spoof film.
Hey, Vegeta, here's a microphone for you.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Not entirely sure if that scene from my Toy Story is what inspired it, but I can imagine it being, though I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to get too out of hand. But yeah, that's what he did for that microphone part of the Toy Story project, and yeah, I do like that idea. And I'm going with the casting choices, because there's still a bunch of casting choices to go over. You got the bad guys from that DreamWorks movie Bad Guys last year as the soldiers. Don't really have an opinion on that. I still haven't seen that DreamWorks Bad Guys movie, although I've seen this movie be used a lot in spoof films, even though it's not even a year old yet. But yeah, it does seem pretty fitting, though. They do seem like good casting choices for the soldiers, and I can still see what Fossa was thinking with that. And next up, onto the human characters now. You got Arnold from Hey Arnold as Andy, and of course you got his mom as Andy's mom. Both pretty good casting choices. Not too crazy about either of them, but they both work fine. Yeah, you also got Heather, the little red-haired girl from Peanuts as Molly. Pretty good. Although I think I'd probably rather have Sally be Hannah, but then again, that would be pretty weird to have Arnold be the older brother of Sally instead of Charlie Brown himself. But still, whatever. Heather is not a bad choice for Molly. And continuing on with the human characters, you got Kevin 11 from Ben 10 as Sid. What do I think about that? Honestly, I don't have too much of an opinion on that, even though I did used to watch some of Ben 10 off of Cartoon Network when I was little, and I did enjoy it. I don't remember seeing any episodes with Kevin 11 on there, so yeah, I don't have an opinion on that. Although it does seem really fitting, though. It does really seem like he's like Kevin 11 is like the mean boy character of Ben 10 and whatnot. So yeah, I can see what Fossa was thinking with this. Next up, you got Spike from Tom and Jerry as Scud, and there's some other Tom and Jerry casting choices that I'll go over later on. But yeah, one of them is Spike himself as Scud. And by the way, fun fact, Spike being Scud was originally one of the first few things I was thinking of. Maybe was originally one of my first few suggestions on who to have be Spike or who to have be Scud for my Toy Story. But I thought I could do better, so I instead decided to have Kyle be Scud for that Toy Story Jaden Picture style cast video thing that I did. So yeah. But still, Spike is Scud, really good, makes sense, especially in early Tom and Jerry, because Spike is mean as hell in early Tom and Jerry. Now, next casting choice. Okay, now this is one of the casting choices from this project that surprised me. And yeah, this did surprise me because, you know, this is from a show Fossa hates, and Fossa normally would never, ever put any show he hates on his style movies. But he decided to make an exception with this one, and yeah, this casting choice is none other than Vegeta. Yep, that's right, Vegeta. The guy who I've had be Shrek for Shrek spoof films, the guy who I've had be Woody for my Toy Story spoof project, and the second main character in Dragon Ball. Yep, Dragon Ball, that's right, the anime Fossa hates. And I'm sure he would put an F tier if he were to do a tier list with Dragon Ball in it. Yeah, that's Vegeta from Dragon Ball as Combat Carl. Wow, this surprised me. But don't get carried away, guys. Don't get carried away. It's not that Fossa changed his opinion on Dragon Ball or anything like that, and wanted to put Dragon Ball in any of his spoof films. No. Don't get me wrong, he still hates Dragon Ball. But before any of you consider him a hypocrite for putting Dragon Ball in the style movie of his, despite the fact that he hates Dragon Ball, this was clearly just put on there to make a little joke because, in the movie, they blow up Combat Carl. And, he's never seen again. Sid blows up Combat Carl. So, yeah, Fossa wanted Vegeta to get blown up to fucking, to symbolize his hatred towards Dragon Ball and Vegeta and whatnot. So, yeah, guys, don't get carried away. Don't think Fossa has changed his opinion on Dragon Ball. No, he still hates Dragon Ball. He just threw it in there to make a joke that symbolizes his hatred towards it. And I gotta say, as a biased Dragon Ball fan, I think that is pretty funny and probably the funniest thing he did in these Toy Story movies of his. But, yeah, don't get carried away, guys. He still hates Dragon Ball. He still hates Dragon Ball. This was just done as a little joke. Yeah, don't get me wrong, guys. But remember, guys, he still hates Dragon Ball because he's not an anime guy. Unless if it's this show, of course. And again, he considers Pokemon to be an alright show, but still remember, Sonic X is the only anime show Fossa loves, as he said in his Sonic TV show's review video. But yeah, Vegeta's Carl, even though it's supposed to symbolize his hatred towards Dragon Ball, I still really like it. I still think it's pretty funny. Alright, now continuing on. Now you got, continuing on, you got, the Top Cat. You got some random cats from Top Cat as the alien toys. Again, I don't have too much of an opinion on that. Although it does seem pretty fitting, though, and it does make sense that you have Top Cat as Buzz and whatnot. And yeah, you also have, now continuing on with the characters at Sid's house, you also got Robin from the first Tom and Jerry movie, that blonde-haired girl from the first Tom and Jerry movie as Hannah. That's a good casting choice. And you also got Anne from Amphibia as Janie, Robin, one of Robin's dolls. Well, maybe not a doll, but one of Robin's toys at least. And yeah, that is yet another casting choice I like from this spoof series of his. But there's a problem I noticed with this casting choice, and that is the way he the way he pronounced Anne's name in this Toy Story spoof film of his. Yeah, because, her name, as like I said, it's pronounced Anne, but Fossa mispronounced it as Amy. What? No offense, Fossa, but what? Was that supposed to be on purpose for a joke, or was it done on accident? How can you watch Amphibia and consider... Yeah, not to mention, Fossa considers Anne to be his favorite character from Amphibia, too. And, But how could you get her name wrong? I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just asking. How could you get her name wrong? It's pronounced Anne, not Amy. Was it just done on purpose for a little joke or something? I don't know. But yeah, this so Anne as Janie. That's a good casting choice. That's a good casting choice because I do really like Amphibia and whatnot, and I did watch a bit more of it off the Disney Channel on the TVs of the hotels and whatnot. So yeah, continuing on. Now I want to go over the casting choices for for more of those evil toys at Sid's house. Yeah, you also not too much. They'll reveal to not be that evil later on, but whatever. You guys know what I mean. You got a Transformer character as Baby. Not too not. I'm pretty sure you have a Transformer character as a baby. It's like a robot character. Yeah, don't have too much of a, not too crazy about the casting choice, but still, it works fine enough. You also got, here's another casting choice that surprised me, because this is from a show that, again, Fossa would usually never put in his style movies on YouTube, not because he hates the show, but, because, he didn't grow up with this show like I did, and that's Blaney. This casting choice right here is Blaney from Total Drama as the Legs toy. And Blaney, you got Blaney from Total Drama on there. And yeah, just so you guys know, yes, Fossa actually does like Total Drama. He still doesn't know a whole lot about Total Drama, but, he's grown to like Total Drama a bit. And yeah, he dropped a community post this morning talking about how Gwen is by far his favorite character. And, the show does look interesting to him. And yeah, he had Blaney be Legs, but, he didn't exactly know what Blaney's name was, despite the fact that, he has her in his Toy Story style film. Because of that, there was one part where Tails called her this female character from Total Drama or something like that. Yeah. So you got Blaney as Legs. What do you think about that? As a Total Drama fan, I think it's good. Yeah, and surprising too, because that stuff I just said before. Yeah, you also got Donkey from Shrek as Ducky, and as a Shrek fan, I think that's a really good casting choice. And the rest of the casting choice for Sid's Evil Toys are good as well. Maybe not too exciting, but they're good. Yeah, you also got these two ladies from Cars as the headless toys in Hannah's room. That's pretty good. And you also got Styx as Sally, as the the Sunset Sally doll. Wait, was it Sunset Sally? I think it's just a Sally doll. But yeah, Sally. Yeah, you got Styx as the Sally doll that Hannah has. That's a good casting choice as well. And yeah, that about covers it for the Toy Story 1 casting choices. Now, there's some more stuff I want to talk about with the Toy Story 1. With this Toy Story 1 project of his. And, something that... Okay, so let me go more in depth with the stuff that he did for the Toy Story 1 project. Okay, so something unique that he did was for the intro of this movie. He showed a intro picture that says, that says Fossa on it. And, for the music... He was playing the DreamWorks opening music that that plays for the DVD opening, that plays as the DVD opening of Shrek 1, and yeah, that's really good. Even though this is a spoof film for a Disney and Pixar movie, not a DreamWorks movie, but still, I think that works. I do really like the music. It does take me back to when I, we watched Shrek 1 on DVD off of that old DVD that we at least used to have. I don't know if we still have, but I don't know. It might be in storage or something. But yeah. Either way, yeah, it does take me back to when I would watch Shrek 1 on DVD, and I do really like that theme, and I do like how he used it in his Toy Story style movie of his, even though, of course, it would have made more sense if he used Disney and Pixar music instead of DreamWorks music, but still, it works. And, another thing I noticed that he did with this Toy Story 1 spoof film of his was how, for parts where he would, normally show footage from the Toy Story 1 movie itself, he instead showed footage from the live-action Toy Story 1 movie. JP and Beyond's old live-action Toy Story 1 project from, a decade ago. Yeah, and I do like that idea, but there was a downside. I have with that idea. It led to him... lazily showing the faces of the characters he didn't have be themselves at certain parts, which, is something I really don't like about spoof films. So, yeah, that's a problem I have with this Toy Story 1 spoof film of his. But still, I still liked how he was using footage from the old live-action Toy Story project from JP and Beyond. That was cool. That was something nice and unique. Another unique thing that I like he did was how when he did certain scene replacements for the scene where the part where Buzz introduces his wingspan to everyone, and the part where certain parts where Buzz would get his helmet removed. Yeah, he would replace those helmet removing scenes with Buzz, and have Top Cat get smacked and get slapped or smacked in the face, which I liked. Yeah, because that makes sense. Because does Top Cat wear a space helmet? No, he doesn't. Even though I haven't seen Top Cat, I already know. I can already tell that he doesn't wear a space helmet. But yeah, I think I've covered a good chunk of stuff about his new Toy Story 1 spoof film. To now move on to his new Toy Story 2 spoof film. And yeah, let me start off with the Toy Story 2 spoof film by going over the casting choices for the new characters in Toy Story 2. And yeah, first up is Jerry from Tom and Jerry as Wheezy, which is yet another Tom and Jerry casting choice I really like. Although probably my favorite Tom and Jerry casting choices out of the few in the series of his is Spike as Scott. I do really like that casting choice. Especially it works well for him in early Tom and Jerry, like I said before. Yeah, and there's also Timmy's dad from Fairly Odd Parents, Mr. Turner as Al. I really like that casting choice. He is probably my favorite character in the Fairly Odd Parents. You know, the dad, because he's a pretty funny comedic relief type of dad and whatnot. And yeah, he is probably my favorite character in the Fairly Odd Parents. And I do really like him as Al right here. I can see what Fossa was thinking with that casting choice. And continuing on with Toy Story 2 casting choices is the cat nurse from Top Cat as Jessie. Again, don't have an opinion on that, although it does seem pretty fitting. Yeah, there's also Max from The Secret Life of Pets as Bullseye. And I think I've talked about this movie before in my live streams, The Secret Life of Pets. I think I talked about it before on my live streams, and my opinion still stands by The Secret Life of Pets. I think it's just okay. I think it's just an okay movie. I saw it in theaters way back in the summer of 2016 in early July. And yeah, I think it's okay. I mean, it's not great. I mean, it's not a great movie, but it's okay. It's probably a B- movie if you ask me. But yeah, it's an okay movie, and so as a result, I think this casting choice for Bullseye is just okay, just alright. So if you guys want to know, no, I haven't seen The Secret Life of Pets 2, and I don't plan on seeing it. Because it does not look that interesting to me. I mean, if the first movie wasn't that great, why would the second one be any great? But next up is Aardvark as Stinky Pete. I'm sure Mr. Bean fan Disney 2005 is going to love this casting choice, looking at how he's used the Aardvark. I've noticed he's used Aardvark a couple of times in his spoof films before. He does like Aardvark as Stinky Pete. And again, I don't have an opinion on that casting choice, although it does seem pretty fitting, though. And yeah, Aardvark does seem pretty interesting. I can imagine me wanting to check out the Aardvark cartoon one of these days. It does look pretty interesting, and the casting choice of Aardvark as Stinky Pete does seem pretty fitting. Yeah, next up is the casting choice for Zurg, and that is Evil Brian as Zurg. Which is a fan-made Family Guy character, and it's a red version of Brian from Family Guy with the white collar on, and it's an evil version of Brian Griffin from Family Guy as Zurg. What do you think about that? Pretty good, although I think it would have been better if he used an official character for Zurg. But still, that's not bad, though. That works. Yeah, you also got a officer from Top Cat as Gary, the toy fixer dude. Yeah, don't have an opinion on that, but again, it does seem pretty fitting. You also got Ice Age Sloths as Barbies. That's a good one, as the Barbie dolls. Yeah, you also got Jenny. Yeah, you also got Jenny from Monster House as the girl who picks up Stinky Pete at the end of the movie. That's a good one. And there's also Isabella from Phineas and Ferb as Emily, Jesse's old owner. Yeah, that's a really good casting choice as well. I don't think it's that hard to come up with a good casting choice for Emily because she doesn't really show that much personality in that She Will Love Me song tribute montage thing that they do at that scene in the movie. But yeah, she doesn't really show much personality. So yeah, a casting choice for Emily shouldn't be that hard at all. But yeah, that about covers the casting choices that I wrote down for myself to cover in this video. I'm sorry if I missed any casting choices that you guys are really looking forward to hearing me cover, but I think I covered a good chunk of casting choices right here. But oh wait, no, I think I'm forgetting a casting choice. Yeah, this is a really big one too, and that's the casting choice for the utility belt Buzz. How can I forget to write that down? Whatever. What it matters is that I won't miss it, and I will cover the casting choice for the utility belt Buzz in this video. And the casting choice for the utility belt Buzz is a later version of Top Cat as the utility belt Buzz, and even though I haven't seen Top Cat, like I said before, I think that casting choice does make perfect sense, and I was expecting the casting choice for the utility belt Buzz to be another Top Cat, because yeah, that does make perfect sense to have the character you have as the utility belt Buzz be like a clone, be like, a different version of whoever it is, whoever character you have as the normal Buzz. But yeah, okay, there's the casting choice for the utility belt Buzz. How can I forget to write that down? But whatever, what matters is I still covered it in the video, and that about covers it for the casting choices. Okay, but yeah, that about covers it with the casting choices. Now, what else do I want to cover with the Toy Story 2 project of Fossa's? Okay, now something unique that he did in the for like the start, the opening logo thing for this Toy Story 2 spoof film of his. He played the opening DreamWorks music that plays at the opening of some DreamWorks movies. Shrek 2 being one of them, which I really like that idea. Another unique idea with DreamWorks music. I see. Nicely done. Yeah, and another unique thing that he did was, there were certain parts where he used footage from the live-action Toy Story 2 movie that's been on YouTube for a while. Yeah, it's not in as nearly as good of quality as the live-action Toy Story 1 project that I talked about earlier in the video. But still, credit where credit's due, though. The guy who made that live-action Toy Story 2 project, I understand, he didn't really have as much to work with and whatnot. And yeah, I get it. Yeah, the live-action Toy Story 2 project isn't the best quality. But still, it's good for what it is. The guy tried, not everyone's born to be a great YouTuber. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't say that project of his is as good as JP and Beyond's Toy Story 1 spoof project, but still, it's good for what it is. The guy tried. The guy tried. I'll give him credit for at least trying. Not everyone's born to be a high quality, master at editing YouTuber. But yeah, there were some reports where he'd used footage from that live action Toy Story 2 movie right there. There weren't as nearly as many parts of that, as there were parts where he would use footage from JP and Beyond's live action Toy Story project, but there were still a few parts where he would show footage from that live action Toy Story 2 project. And yeah, I do like that idea, but there were a lot more parts where he would use footage from random Toy Story 2 animation videos on YouTube. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but wherever they were random Toy Story 2 animation videos. I think these could be part of a fully reanimated remake of Toy Story 2 on YouTube. I don't know, Fossa, maybe you can let me know what these are in the comments down below if you want, but yeah, there were certain parts of this Toy Story 2 project of his where he would use footage from this, these reanimated scenes of Toy Story. And yeah, again, I like that idea, but the downside is, yeah, it did lead to certain parts where he would lazily show the faces of certain characters he doesn't have as themselves, and yeah, that's a problem I really like for spoof films to stop doing. But yeah, of course, also this project continues on with some more unique ideas, like for example, continuing on the topic with stuff to do for a replacement of Buzz's helmet getting removed. It was for the part where the two Top Cats fight against each other as a replacement for the normal Buzz removing the utility belt Buzz's helmet. He had the normal Top Cat smack the newer Top Cat. Have them bicker some more and have Tails be like, okay guys, stop fighting. Have Tails tell them to stop fighting, and have one of them have them one of them show the Arnold drawing on the foot, so we could see which one is the they can see which one's the real Top Cat. And of course, the normal Top Cat shows shows Arnold, his foot saying Arnold and whatnot. Even though this leads to another problem I have with these Toy Story style movies of his. Okay, so for certain parts where he would show Arnold, white text saying Arnold for certain parts, or in Toy Story where they would look at their foot or whatever, and see Andy being spelled in it. For certain parts, for the parts that show those projects, he didn't exactly show the Arnold part being put in the feet, in the foot of the characters he had. Be the characters that do have Andy written on their foot and whatnot. And I think that would have been nice. I think it would have been better if he edited text in the and the foot of whoever he would have be on the foot of whoever on the foot of whoever he'd have be the characters who have Andy written on the bottom of their foot and whatnot. Yeah, I think it would have been nice. For example, for the scene in Toy Story, for the scenes in Toy Story when Woody looks at his foot and sees the Andy writing on the bottom of his shoe and whatnot. I think it would have been nice if he used some shot of the bottom of Tails' shoe and write Arnold in black text or something on it. Yeah, I think that would have been better instead of just simply editing text in the middle of the screen. Yeah, I think that would have been better. And also another problem I have with him doing that Arnold white text thing was the part where when Bullseye remember the scene in Toy Story 2 when Bullseye shows when Bullseye shows the bottom of his feet and whatnot, and he accidentally spells Danny or something instead of Andy. Yeah, for that part he didn't show any misspelling of Arnold's name, which I think would have been nice, but whatever, it's not huge though. That's a small thing, but I still think it would have been better if he had shown some kind of misspelling of Arnold's name or something. I mean, sure, it would probably be a really weird misspelling of Arnold's name, but still, I think it would have been better to do some kind of funny misspelling of Arnold's name. That was a missed opportunity, but still, whatever. But still, whatever. That's another small problem I have with this Toy Story style series of his. But yeah. What else is there to cover? Okay. So, just so you guys know, for the good chunk of the Toy Story spoof series of his, he didn't use music from the movie. And instead, there were like certain parts where he would like instead use, I'm pretty sure, copyright-free music. Copyright-free music, like for example, there were certain parts where he would use this party music. Or, there were parts where he'd use like, I'm pretty sure, copyright-free party music. And I think I might have bumped into a YouTube video that had this copyright-free party music one time. But yeah, he had this like, I'm pretty sure, copyright-free party music that he also had playing in the background of his review video on Mario Sonic Philly Fan 700's Toon Story trilogy thing. Yeah, that review video of his. Yeah, I also remember him using this music on his old Toy Story 1 spoof project and whatnot. And yeah, he seems to really like this copyright-free party music, and I don't blame him because this party music does sound good. Yeah, I also noticed that there were certain parts. I think my favorite song that he added into this movie was this one part where he used where these parts where he used like copyright-free sad music, where he used this copyright-free sad song, have that play in the background. Yeah, I do really like the copyright-free sad song of his. Yeah, one of the scenes where he used this copyright-free sad song was in the part that covers the Buzz, I can't do this without you scene of Toy Story 1. The part where Sid's sleeping and, Woody talks to Buzz and, tries to, convinces him to help him get out of there and, talks to him about how great he is and whatnot. And, tries to recruit Buzz to help out and whatnot. So, yeah, he had copyright-free sad music playing in the background of that scene. Yeah, I did really like it. And, I would like to know the name of that copyright-free sad song that you were using, Fossa. If you know the name of it, can you please tell me in the comment section down below or something? Because, I would really like to listen to that song itself because it does sound really good. I do remember being really intrigued by that song when I first saw you use it as background music for that scene in your Toy Story 1 spoof project. But yeah, despite the fact that he used, there was, certain copyright-free songs that he added in, there were still parts where, he would leave alone songs that play in these two Toy Story movies. Like, he still used the "You've Got a Friend Me" song and that and she loved me song or whatever that song plays, wherever is the song that plays in that Emily tribute thing in Toy Story 2. And he also used that "You've Got a Friend Me" cover that plays at the end of Toy Story 2. And he also used "Strange Things Are Happening" and whatnot. So he still used those songs. Yeah, and I can see why he would feel the need to use those songs because those songs are pretty important to Toy Story, and they're definitely some of the most popular songs in the Toy Story franchise. So yeah, I don't blame him for leaving those in. Even though it would increase the chances of his movies getting blocked for copyright. But I don't think his Toy Story spoof films will be blocked for copyright. I'm sure he'll get away with it. I mean, come on, I'm sure plenty of other Toy Story spoof films on YouTube have gone away with using those songs in those movies. So yeah, I think he's fine. So yeah, he should be fine. But yeah, there's another problem I want to cover with this Toy Story spoof series of his. These Toy Story spoof movies of his. And I probably should have covered this problem for when I was reviewing his Woody Shrek style movies. Oh well, whatever. But yeah, this problem I had with his Toy Story spoof films was like, okay, since he was acting, for the most part, he was acting out the dialogue and stuff, playing dialogue from the movies themselves and, having the characters say those lines that these characters say in the movies and whatnot. Yeah, instead of using audio from those movies for the dialogue, he instead acted out the dialogue himself, and that did lead to him, not remembering certain lines that well in certain parts of these movies of his, so that led to him just randomly muttering random stuff in certain parts of these movies, and those parts were kind of bothering me. Like, it wasn't a huge deal that he did that. I mean, I understand that it can be hard to fully memorize scripts of movies and whatnot, but still, I think he could have went back and did those better. Like, it's not a huge problem, but still, I think that muttering problem could have been solved. Maybe this is a future preference for you, Fossa, for later Toy Story spoof films, because it can get kind of annoying. Like, not like extremely annoying, but kind of annoying to have you do that muttering thing because you don't remember certain lines. Like, it's not a big deal. Not exactly a garbage thing, but still, it would be nice if you didn't mutter certain lines like that. Not a huge deal. Not trying to be a jerk. Trying to be an honest reviewer here, since I'm reviewing your Toy Story style movies. But still, something I would like to see you do less of in your future style films and whatnot. But is there anything else I want to cover with this Toy Story spoof series of his? Well, there's another thing I like about these Toy Story spoof films he did for them. Was that okay? So I think originally when I first heard about him doing these new Toy Story style movies of his, I think I originally thought that he was going to split them up into parts like he did with his Woody Shrek style movies, and also like he did for his old Toy Story spoof films. But no, instead he uploaded both movies all in one video each. So yeah, there's one video that has his entire new Toy Story 1 spoof project, and there's the other that has his entire Toy Story 2 spoof project. And he uploaded those movies he uploaded those two movies in their entirety in one video each. So, that's cool. That's a cool thing they did. So yeah, that way I won't have to go from video to video to see the entirety of both projects. Cool. All right. Yeah. All right. So yeah, cover the casting choice. Oh wait. Oh yeah, there's another casting choice I forgot to write down, and that's the final Adventure Time casting choice, and that's the casting choice for Mrs. Potato Head. For Mrs. Potato Head, there's Flame Princess from Adventure Time as Mrs. Potato Head. What do you think about that? Really good casting choice. I think it's much better than Phantom's Mr. Potato Head, and definitely more fitting too, because Flame Princess can be a mean girl in Adventure Time. Like, yeah, she can be nice in Adventure Time, but she can also be really mean. Like, I do remember how mean and toxic she was for when we were first introduced to Flame Princess during the season 3 Adventure Time finale. But yeah, I do really like the casting choice of Flame Princess as Mrs. Potato Head. That is a really good casting choice. I can't believe I forgot to write that down too. But whatever. What matters is I still covered it in the video, and I still think it's a really good Adventure Time casting choice. Possibly the best out of the few Adventure Time casting choices about it. I would say it's either that or Jake the Dog as Sarge. But yeah, Flame Princess as Mrs. Potato Head. Yeah. But yeah, that is a really good Adventure Time casting choice, and it makes perfect sense as Finn is Mr. Potato Head, even though Finn definitely doesn't fit Mr. Potato Head all that well. But yeah. Okay, so there's another casting choice I forgot. But I still included it. Okay. And is that about it for this project? Is that all the stuff I want to cover? Yeah, I think that's about... Oh, wait, no. There's another thing I want to cover. How good is it syncing-wise? How good is it syncing-wise? Like, how good does the footage match up with, like, what's happening in the Toy Story movies? Not very good, but, good enough for, the, whatever, the Return to Fossa's style movie. So, yeah, not a huge thing. Not a huge deal. But, yeah. I think that's about it. I think that's all for the I think that's about it. I think that's pretty much all the stuff I wanted to say, and pretty much all the stuff I need to say in this review of the Return of the Fossa's new Toy Story style movies. And what do I think about them? Well, like his Woody Shrek style movies, I think they're really good movies. I think they're really good movies, and I think I'm gonna keep on going back to them and listen to them like when I'm in class at school and whatnot, and maybe like when I go out on certain walks and whatnot. And I'll keep coming back to these, and I think I'll keep coming back to these and whatnot. I think I'll enjoy coming back to these a lot. And I think maybe if I do a list that goes over some of my favorite Toy Story spoof films off of YouTube, I'm pretty sure that I'll put these movies on that list. So, overall, I do really enjoy these Toy Story style movies of his. There's some issues with them, but they're not big issues that take away from the enjoyment of these movies. These movies are still really good. Both of these movies are still really good. I still really enjoy both of them. And as a result, I think I'll give both of these movies an 8 out of 10. Yeah, both these movies get an 8 out of 10. They're both great movies. I will enjoy going back to both of these two movies. And which Toy Story style movie do I prefer between these two Toy Story spoof films that The Return to Fossa did recently? I think I'd go with Toy Story. I would probably say the first one. Because I'm probably not entirely sure, but I think I probably prefer Toy Story 1 a bit more than Toy Story 2. I don't know, it's a very close choice though. I love all the first three Toy Story movies almost equally, but yeah. I would probably say Toy Story 1's better. I'd probably say Toy Story 1's a bit better because, not only because I probably would like Toy Story 1 more than Toy Story 2, but also because I feel the acting was a bit better in Toy Story 1 and, was better paced and whatnot, was faster. Although I still thought the acting in Toy Story 2 was really good as well. Yeah, pretty funny acting. I do enjoy the acting in Fossa's spoof films and whatnot. But yeah, those are my opinions on Fossa's new Toy Story style movies. I did enjoy watching through both of these to do this review video, and I think I'll keep going back to these and whatnot. And I do overall really enjoy these movies. Again, there's some small issues with them, but they don't take away that much from the enjoyment. These are still both really good movies, and they both get an 8 out of 10 in my book, and they are by far some of my favorite style movies, the Toy Story spoof films I've ever seen off of YouTube. And also, guys, not to mention, The Return of the Fossa, I think like over a week or two ago, said that he was thinking of maybe reviewing my Shadow Shrek spoof films for after I complete those movies. I really like that idea. And now, granted, it's still going to be a while before I complete both Shadow Shrek movies, but still, that's cool. That's cool how he's thinking of maybe reviewing my Shadow Shrek movies. I would really like to see him review my Shadow Shrek movies. And I guess it would be a nice way to get back at me for, reviewing his Woody Shrek style movies and now his new Toy Story style movies. So yeah. So yeah, I would like to see him review my Shadow Shrek movies. You know, see him praise about the stuff he likes about my Shadow Shrek movies, like, you know, with the Sonic stuff, you know, with the stuff with other series in there that he loves, like Adventure Time and whatnot. But also, like, you know, hear him rant about the casting choices from the shows that he hates in this series, like, you know, such as Dragon Ball regular show and Ed, Edd n Eddy. But yeah, I would like to see him do that review. Not that he has to do that review, but again, I would like to see him do that review. I would really like that review. But again, if Fossa wants to do that review, he can go ahead and do it. But again, he said he's thinking of maybe doing that review video, and plus, he was the one who came up with he was the one who suggested on maybe doing it. So, but yeah, Fossa, here's my review video for you, buddy. Here's my review on your 2 new Toy Story style movies. Really enjoyed both of them, and here's the review for you. Yeah, hopefully this will be satisfying enough to you guys. And yeah, I don't really know what else there is to say. That's all for this long review video, everyone. Links to the Return of the Fossa will be in the description below. A link to his channel, and also a link to a playlist I'll make after I make this video that has both of his Toy Story spoof films, unless if Fossa has already made that playlist and I didn't notice it. But still, a link, whatever happens, a link to that playlist that has both of his Toy Story spoof films will be in the description below. And with all that being said, that's all for this video, you guys. Bye, everyone, and thank you all for watching this video. Have a good weekend.